Hey, I'm down in beautiful Clyde. So tomorrow we start the trail, bike ride trail from Clyde through to Lawrence with Paul and the kids. Today, Paul and Luke had a really cool day biking the Dunstan, but I'm gonna hold on for that one for a couple of years before I take Paige through. But anyway, it's 6:15 and it's just beautiful here in Clyde. So I'm down by the river, just in a little park up on a little grassy area, and so I thought I'll just do a quick stretch with you. I'll see how I go for time tonight, and I've got Paul and Paige just hanging out the playground. It's not too cold, but I've got my puffer on because I thought we could have a little stretch session tonight. So I'm going to see how this works if I sit up on this little bit of grass. And I'm just going to come into a cross-legged seated position. I actually forgot to bring my mat away with me, so I'm going to find nice soft patches of grass. So if you're doing this with me, I'm going to invite you to just come into a comfortable seated position. If you need to, something under your hips, and then just sit tall. Take a moment to roll your shoulders down and back. Let's place one hand to our heart, one hand to our belly. Feel free to soften your eye gaze or close your eyes today. I'm going to keep my eyes open as I bring awareness into my breath because it's just really beautiful. And so I think just taking in some of the scenery around me is going to be really good to help me just bring in that sense of feeling calm and grounded. So starting to slow the breath down, breathing in through the nose. Exhale can be nose or mouth. And just carry on keeping that breath slow and steady, and depending on where you are seated, just opening up your senses to the space that you've taken yourself into. Notice how it feels where you're seated. Notice maybe any sounds around you, the temperature of the room. Notice how your body is feeling in the space that you've taken yourself to. And just start to observe in your body what you're feeling in this moment. So observe sensations in your muscles, observing any feeling of tightness, observing your breath as it moves in and out, opening through your chest, a little bit of expansion through that lower hand where your belly sits. Maybe even noticing the rate that your heart might be beating through that higher hand on your chest. Just a sense of being still and just really present in this moment that we have brought ourselves to today. Let's take one more breath together. Breathe in deep, wide and low. Full exhale. Nice work. And let's just stretch the arms out, reaching through the fingertips. So we'll start with some spinal mobility. So we come into C-shaped spine, scoop through the belly, eye gaze looks down, fingertips come to touch. Inhale, open wide, and then we'll go straight over to the side, reaching, extending from the hip to the fingertips. Let's just float over to the other side, softening down through that lower elbow. Come back through midline, open the arms wide again with your spine C-shape, fingertips come to touch. Inhale, open out. This time the arms stretch up, fingertips touch, cross the thumbs, reaching the fingertips up. And exhale, we're just going to allow them to fall down in front of us wherever they land. Drop your eye gaze down and just allow yourself to forward fold here. Take an inhaled breath as you come up back into a neutral spine. This time we're going to cross our legs over the opposite way. And again, opening up the arms either side, scoop and tuck through the belly, eye gaze down. Inhale up, open. Once again, stretching to one side. Ground down through both sit bones. Inhale through center, float across to the other side. Keep grounding down through your sit bones. Inhale, come up, fingertips come to touch, press them away, fingertips, thumbs cross. Eye gaze up, little extension through the spine this time. Inhale back into neutral, keep the arms pressed beside the ears as we take a stretch one way. Keep reaching the fingertips away. Inhale through center, up and over to the other side. Good. Back through center, arms float out wide, bringing them back behind you, weaving the fingertips, dropping the shoulders back. We'll take the eye gaze up again, lifting up through the chin, sitting tall here. Nice work. And just release, allowing the hands to drop either side, bringing your legs out in front of you now. I'm going to take my Crocs off. And we're just going to sit tall here, flex and point, and flex and point. This time we'll flex, we'll point, reach up, forward fold, eye gaze down towards the knees. With your breath, inhale, prepare, exhale, stretch and go a little bit lower. Soften through the elbows, see if you can go even further. And then slowly rolling up. Arms reach above your hands as we come into a little twist. One arm to the front, one arm back behind, looking over the back shoulder. You can just press the hand gently to the outside of the leg here, drawing yourself into the twist. 2 breaths here. Dropping the shoulders down and away from the ears. One more breath. And then unwind. Inhale back through center. Arms reach. Let's twist around to the other side. Hand to the outside of the legs. Reaching to look behind. Chin over the shoulder. Work, one more breath here, breathe in and breathe out. Inhale, arms come up, bending your knee in. Let's take the hands under the sole, just lift to press your foot out in front. You choose how far you want to go. If you can press it further away, maybe even taking that hand around one foot, we can reach out to the side, find some balance. Nice work, sitting tall here. And then just option if you do want to come into a little bit of a hip opener, we're going to press the heel away, reaching the arm out, sit tall. Often here there's a tendency to fall backwards, so just keep sitting tall, pressing through the heel and dropping the shoulders away. And then soften the knee, bring it back in front. Arms reach out, one more forward fold, bending down. Stay here for one more breath. And then we're going to slowly roll up, taking the other knee in towards your chest, hands around the sole of the foot. We'll press the foot away here. Remember, you can keep your knee bent the whole time if you wish, but you might just test or experiment, see if you can just reach a bit further, taking the hand and the same side, leg in the same side as the hand, and if you want, opening out. Remember, one side might feel a little bit different to the other. We want to feel nice and grounded down. If you've got a strap, this could be really helpful to use a strap just to try and get a little bit more access to that foot if it feels like it's a little bit too far away. Work with your breath to open the hip around a little bit further if you can. Nice work. And inhale back through center and stretching out, this time with flexed feet, just hinging forward at the hips. Hands can come either side. Nice kind of looking around to see if there's much poo on the ground, because I do want to take us down onto our backs. So slowly roll yourself up, spin yourself around, and then just come down, rolling down, C-shaped spine, bringing the knees in towards the chest. So just here, a little rock side to side. Okay, so we're going to extend out through one leg and then just curl up, bringing your nose to your knee. So holding this little tuck, extending out as we curl in, and then see if you can stay curled up as we extend the leg out. So holding up, reaching up, seeing if you can curl up a little bit higher, bringing in some core activation, reaching the ankle and softly bending through your elbows. Bend the knee, head comes down, extend on the other side, bring your nose to your knee, curling up, hold here for a moment, and then extending up. Got that lower leg floated out of the ground, curl a little bit higher, reach a little bit further, soften through your elbows, and hold for one more breath. Nice work. Slowly come down, knees come to your chest, both feet just float up. With flexed feet, we're going to flex and point, and flex and point. Again, pressing up through your heels, pointing through your toes, pressing up and pointing. Nice work. Bringing both knees into your chest, curling up one more time, coming into a little tuck position. This time stay curled up as both legs float up, reaching to the ankles here. Good. We're going to hold here for 2 breaths, creeping the fingertips up, pointing through the toes. One more breath here. Nice work. And then just rolling down, coming into a side lying position here. So just giving ourselves a stretch through your quad at the front. We can take the head down to the arm, picking up the foot behind, just trying to close the knees together here. So I'm just gently pressing my hips forward, trying to keep my knees as close to each other as possible, and just feeling that stretch around the front of your leg. Nice work. And so what we can do now is just let that leg float out in front and just see where it lands. Now what's happening here is you'll feel that stretch coming around the outside of the hip. You just take a hand in front to find a place that feels supportive. Really reach through that back leg. So instead of just leaving that sort of soft and passive, extend, lengthen, and that's going to help develop that stretch coming around the outside of your hip. Nice work. And let's just bring those legs back together. So I'm just going to spin around so I stay facing you, but if you want, you could just turn, roll over to do the other side, and you can listen to my instructions. So we're just coming into that little quad stretch here, hips pressed forward. Nice. And so just letting those knees fall towards each other. If you look down, your knees, your hips and shoulders are all lined up. We'll release it, let that leg just open up in front, feeling that stretch. So we're reaching away with that back leg as that leg floats forward. Trying to still keep the hips sort of stacked on top of each other here. Nice work. If you want to take it a bit deeper, you can lift it, replace it down, ground it down a little bit further to open up that angle. Nice work. And inhale, come back. So let's come up. We'll come into 4-point kneeling. So just coming up onto hands and knees here, stacking shoulders and wrists and tucking the toes under. So we're going to just press back into the heels, lifting the hips, and then just walk out through the heels, pressing and releasing here. So just try and stay soft through the elbows, spread out through the fingertips. Or float the right leg up, bending the knee, stepping through. Today we'll keep that back knee lifted, come straight into a twist to open up. Eye gaze comes up. We can see lots of little bugs out tonight, so I'm hoping I'm not going to get too bitten. I'm going to float that hand in behind my hip, so the back of the hand coming in, just sweeping in beside that back hip. Soften the hips down. Turning to look over that back shoulder. And then as we come out of this, just reaching forward, taking the hand down inside, stepping the foot just slightly out. And here we can soften the elbows. If you've got blocks, you might want to come down to the blocks. Or I'm just rolling to the outside edge of that front foot, coming down onto my forearms, letting the knee just drop to the side. Try and keep that back knee lifted away from the ground. And try and also just stay long through your spine here. So try and take any rounding out of the shoulders if possible. And then slowly pressing yourself back up. Hands come either side of the foot, and we can step back into downward dog, walking the feet up and down. Left foot floats, bend the knee. Coming forward and stepping through straight into your twist. Back knee stays lifted, hips soften down, reaching up through your fingertips, and then once again the option slide with the back of the head down beside your hip, turning to look over that back shoulder. Twist around a little bit further. And then we're going to come out, reach forward, step slightly out, and then if you want, just dropping, if you wish. Might come down to elbows, try and keep the back knee lifted, staying long through the spine and possibly rolling just the outside edge of that foot. If it feels too much, just coming back up onto your hands, pressing down also through that back heel. Nice work. And then just shuffle the foot back to center and to your downward dog again. Walking the heels up and down. Okay, we're going to step your feet, or you can jump them, but just walking them forward. Bend your knees generously. Come up standing. You're going to lose me for a moment here. And back down. So back down, ragdoll here. Chest to thighs. And we're just going to allow the elbows to swing back and forth. So you can start to lift your hips, trying to keep your chest connected to your thighs. Come back through midline, dropping the hands down, coming down into a little tuck here. We're going to lift the ankles up, drop them down, guys. It's getting pretty dark now, so I'm probably going to be finishing this soon. I'm not sure. I'll have to check how long we've done today. It might be just a 20-minute one. So I'm just lifting and dropping through the ankles. A little bit of ankle mobility, and then just coming back onto your hips. Come around to face me. Where are we at? Oh, okay, about 19 minutes. Okay, so let's just do 20 minutes tonight. We'll finish off back here. Knees dropping out to the side. I'm bringing my thumbs just in the arches of my feet, giving them a little rub as my knees drop out to the side. You can also just gently press your elbows just inside the knees, just to help open the hips. So it's really good to give your feet a little rub sometimes, working into that fascia, the tissue, the sort of spiderwebby layer that sits under the skin that helps our muscles to all move and stay mobile. So sometimes they get a bit tight and knotty, and you can do a lot just to kind of get rid of some of those knots by giving them a nice firm rub or massage. So let's just finish by coming back into a cross-legged position here with your eyes closed. We're just going to take 3 slow deep breaths. One more. Good. Let the arms float out to the side. Inhale, sweep through. Big stretch up and over. One more inhale, sweep through. And over. Okay, I hope that gave you a little bit of a warm up if you're doing it at the start of the day, or a stretch out if you've been active over Easter weekend. And I'll try and do another record something further along the trail as we head towards Lawrence. Thanks guys. Bye.